Hey, hey, my next guest on the Nourished Soul podcast is Kathleen Booker. Kathleen is known as the Jedi of Calm. I think she is the queen of breath work, and she has an amazing energy. She's an amazing person, really fun person to have on the show, and also just unbelievable energy. So I'm excited for you to hear this one. And she does a 5 minute breathwork session at the end. So you're going to want to listen all the way to the end. And if you want, you can get a 10-minute free breathwork session from her by visiting her website, kathleenbooker.net. And you can contact her for that. So she does individual work with people. So you could do that. And she also does tons of corporate stuff. I mean, she is speaking all over the place. She is doing summits and always teaching breath work and speaking at different places. So I was so excited to get her onto the show because she is so busy. So I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I enjoyed talking with Kathleen. So welcome to the show, Kathleen. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Kelli, I am just speechless with gratitude, having the honor to share with your readership, share with the world the wonderfulness about breath, and that I get to support you in what you're doing in shifting, changing, healing, and nourishing the world. So thank you.
Oh, I love that. I saw you speak probably a good month or two ago now, and I just felt like it was like you were taking me to Breathwork Church, and I was so excited, and your energy is so amazing. And I was super excited when you agreed to be on the Nourished Soul podcast because your energy is fabulous. And I just thought, oh, Kathleen's going to take us to Breathwork Church. It's going to be
That's Lori. That was Lori's. I love that. And I have to really use it more than I have because I love that I take people to Breathwork Church. That is going to be my new tagline. And I do.
Yeah, I know.
I do. I really do. And I go there with you. That's the beautiful thing about it. It's a total win-win. It's just an all-round healing for everybody.
Yes. But you didn't start in breath work. You had a regular normal job. So why don't we back, right? Isn't that isn't that the truth? Or
I told myself that I was going to, from several moments ago, going forward, just give thanks to that last dead end job. And I was no longer going to let my face just go bleh when I think about it, because thank goodness for it. Thank goodness for every single dreadful, horrible job that I had. And they were all actually. Actually, every single one of them, up until I began my breathwork business, they were all dreadful and horrible. Um, that's, yeah, that makes me want to share with your audience something that I tell myself even all the time. There's no wasted moment. Um, the years of those dreadful jobs where I, I don't even have the words for it. I mean to say soul sucking, actually I can't say that anymore, right? Because really each soul sucking job was a shot of fresh air for me to move forward. So my humanness was not happy. However, my soul knew what it was doing and where it was taking me. So thank you, Kelli. I love having these ahas. So I say all of that, everyone, to say, even when it doesn't look to our physical eyes how we want it to be, there's absolutely no time wasted. And that can be very difficult to hear. And I've got both of my hands up in the air because there are times when my physical eyes see something and I think, okay, can we move this crap along here? Let's just ixnay on this A and go. However, there's value where we are. So
Mhm.
as I was going through those years where I was very unhappy and felt rudderless, always in my ear, I heard this call forward. I didn't know what forward was. I really didn't know what forward was. I knew that I would try different things, different churches, different workshops, and I always say I've got a library of self-help books, really,
Yeah.
and speaking to people, and that energy just kept pulling me forward.
Mhm.
And there were times when I didn't think I was moving, and now with you having this aha, really I was moving forward all the time, however, very attached to how it had to look. But even in the attachment to how it had to look, right? It wasn't my authentic, as I have a total aha moment this entire podcast, it looks like. Um, I wasn't even clear on what my aha was.
Right.
I,
Yes.
I, I
Mhm.
had no idea. I knew that I didn't feel good within my skin.
Mhm.
So I would try this, and then I would try that, and I would go there, or I would go here, or I would just sit down and just say, well, this is it. And that little voice would come and say, no, no, love, you know, let's go.
Mhm.
Let's try this. So after many, 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 many years of doing that and really building a foundation too, because again, no time, no effort is ever wasted. And learning along the way, I wound up at a spiritual development school and was introduced to the breath. And I had such resistance,
Mhm.
such resistance. And the resistance was, and I've shared this before, my soul was ready to heal being sexually abused by my father as an infant and a toddler, but I had buried that so deep. I was absolutely positively clueless. However, it was showing up real clear, right, in my
Mhm.
life. Excuse me.
Mhm.
The no, the not staying in a job long, the no money, the fear of friendships, intimate friendships. When I say that, and intimate, not meaning sexual, I mean get close to me, see what makes me tick,
Right.
really get to feel what are my fears, really get to see what really gets me excited and what really scares the bejesus out of me. So if
Mhm.
people, I held them at bay. Now to the outside I looked, very outgoing, and oh, Kathleen, she's an extrovert, and
Mhm.
quiet as it was kept, hell no.
Mhm.
Very quiet on the inside, very reserved, and never let anybody see me, never
Mhm.
let anyone see me afraid
Mhm.
or angry or anything other than, happy.
Mhm.
Oof, that's exhausting just even saying it.
Right.
And so I I went with the breath because I had no choice. It wouldn't let me go.
Mhm.
It just wouldn't let me go. I am still healing
Mhm.
from the sexual trauma, and that's a long heal, but oof, the breath is just so incredible in supporting myself, excuse me, and
Mhm.
others to heal from that, because the breath knows every nook, every cranny that just needs to be breathed upon.
Mhm.
And even though I still try to, no, no, no breath, no, no, no breath, the breath was like, yes, yes, Kathleen, yes, yes, Kathleen. And so finally, I quit the last job. And on April 4th, 2014, at 8:32 a.m., that time, that day is forever etched in my
In your
mind.
mind. Yeah.
I submitted my letter of resignation, and I started teaching breathwork full time. Now, prior to that,
Mhm.
while I was still working full time, I still, anybody who would let me teach breath, I was there, and I did that for maybe about a year and a half or 2 years,
Mhm.
until finally the breath also said, okay, boo, you know that you rock at this. You know that you love this. Why are
Mhm.
you holding on to column A and wanting to free yourself with column B? Let go of column A. Free yourself, literally and figuratively. And that was April
Mhm.
4th, 2014. And
Mhm.
here I am.
At 8:32 a.m. Yes, I got it. I can feel it. Yeah. Wow. I love so many things about what you just said. I mean, so many things resonated with me about the calling and not knowing where you're going or what that actually would look like or mean. I love there's nothing's wasted. Nothing is wasted. And so if you just keep I guess is moving the right word? Just keep moving in a direction. Like, what would we say?
And that's really valid. It's not always moving, because we as humans, and
Mhm.
I'll put myself here, I can sometimes put my judgment on the word moving.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I would say, as long as I remain open and,
Mhm.
and willing,
Right. Right.
willing,
Mhm.
it comes down to, Kelly, oh, and this is a lesson I'm in, and probably until my last breath. um, Trust.
Oh, you're right. Oh, that's right. Of course, Kathleen. That's right.
Trust.
Trust. Mhm.
Trust. There's trust, there's willingness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Trust.
openness. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the hard that's my Achilles heel. I will be working on that till my last breath too, I guess.
Well, grab the popcorn. We're going to be seated next to one another.
Mhm.
Um, I will share, as I say this about trust. I remember when I was, oh my gosh, money was so tight when I was in my conflama. It wasn't even tight, it was non-existent. And I remember saying, oh my God, I'm going to go and I'm going to get this book. And this book is going to teach me how to be abundant. And I'm going to go to this workshop and I'm going to walk away and I'm going to be abundant. And well, it so doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
It doesn't. It is the totality of everything that we're doing. It's the trusting. I say God, source, the divine, the
Right.
one. If that doesn't work for you, fill in whatever it does. It's trusting source, trusting the divine. And the breath is so wonderful with that because the breath is the divine. The breath is source. The breath is abundance. I mean, without the breath, we are, we're dead.
Mhm.
We're dead. It's not even about lack and scarcity at that point. Life force is gone.
Gone. Right.
However, with breath work, for me, the breath reminds me to come home to myself where everything already is and can't go anywhere. All those years I'm donde está money, you know, very bad Spanish accent. However, I'm looking for it and it's right here within. Now, some of your listeners may be saying, is that always true? I'm human. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And I have moments when, just like you, I forget. And it's in those moments that I'll take a breath and rest in the truth of myself, rest in the totality, the abundant totality of myself right now, in this moment. Nothing I have to go get or put on and wear or a special lipstick. It's all already here. And the breath is so beautiful because it it's the sure shot. It's it's the sure shot. You know, I went from being just totally honest where, oh Lord, there were so many times when I was doing the backstroke in my lackful thoughts.
Mhm. Mhm.
And thinking that it was outside of me.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
And that I had to be someone special, do something special in order to just be what I already am. Course in Miracles, I quote this all the time. Love created me like itself. Abundance created me like itself for me to already be love, be abundant. And the breath just takes us back to that, our core,
Mhm.
which again can't be given away, can't be taken away. I mean, really, right now, if you could just envision in your mind, everyone listening, just see yourself doing the backstroke in your core of cores, the place where you are courageous, the place where you are peaceful, FULL, the place where you are beyond abundant and worthy, the place where you just know, yes, I am wise, I am brilliant, and just see yourself in your mind's eye doing the backstroke. And that's within yourself,
Mhm. Mm.
for yourself. So,
Oh, I knew you were going to take us to Breathwork Church. There it was. Oh, so I mean that's just so beautiful. I got teary because it's so true. This and now I've got the backstroke visual going. I love I'm just going to be seeing that when I get myself in a real tiz. I'll be like, "Oh, let me just get to the breath, get to my center, my core and do some backstroke right
that's
here
right.
where
Right.
everything is plentiful and I am peaceful." Yeah, that's amazing. And the breath, so I don't know. One of my teachers finally told me when I was trying to focus on the breath, and I did not know what that meant. I didn't know all of these esoteric or esoteric teachers that would say, just bring your attention back to the breath. And I thought, well, how the hell do you do that? Like, what does that even look like? And then one of my teachers said to me, well, you can't breathe for yesterday and you cannot breathe for tomorrow. The only breath that you can take is the one you're taking right here, right now. And I thought, why didn't anybody explain it that way to begin with. It just brings you back to this moment right here, right now, where you need nothing outside of yourself. It's all right inside. And so, even when we were talking about, if you just trust, if you stay open, if you stay willing, I think if you also if you stay present in the moment and can return back to the breath, it'll bring you back to the moment where you have everything you need. Is that
For me and everybody and their grandparents now are doing breath work, which is great because we
Mhm.
all breathe. However, it
However?
just doesn't have to be that deep. It for me,
Yeah.
there are moments when all of that talk that you just said, Kelly, you're going to be, oh, what were those words? You're going to
Mhm.
try and remember them. They're not going to be anywhere around because the shit has kicked the fan.
Mhm.
And in that moment, cortisol is racing all through your body.
Mhm.
Your fight or flight is on overdrive. Your deodorant has zapped from out of your under armpits. And you're wondering, holy heck. When my mom passed recently, someone said to me, just breathe. Huh, I almost ripped their damn tonsils out of their throat, um, in a very loving way, of course.
Right.
Um, because
Mhm. Yeah.
in that moment, my breath was showing up for me.
Mhm.
It was already present. We, I feel, have become a society where everything has to be quick. It has to be quick. Do me right now, and then take me to the next 25 levels above. Heal me here and then take me a bazillion levels above. There, unfortunately,
Mhm.
stuff is going to happen. My mom passing. Oh my God.
Mhm.
How is the world spinning and she's not here?
Right.
Is that happening?
Right.
And with that, through that, in that, with my breath, I have found a level of voice I've never had before, for which I'm grateful. That's growth.
Mhm.
I have found um, a level of self compassion that heretofore I never had. Stop, take a moment for me, do nothing. What? And now to be able to take a breath and say, you know what? Or here's a really good example. Last night, someone called me that's going through some stuff, and I just didn't have it
Mhm.
for their energy. And their
Mhm.
energy was off the hook. No heat, no judgment, as my teacher would say.
Sure.
However, it was too much for me. I was empty, too empty to show up to be a support. And I said to this individual, can't have this conversation. We're going to have to turn this around because I'm not, and this is the God's honest truth. I was in bed. I said, I'm not going to bed with this shit on my head.
Right. Right.
And not, not, not making light of where my friend was
Sure.
in that moment. I had nothing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And nor did I want to dig in what was already dry and empty to try and find reserves that I
Yes.
need for myself.
Mhm.
Because, as they say on the plane, put the mask on yourself before you go to help someone else.
Right.
So I shifted the conversation in a loving way, not in a dismissive way, in a self loving way,
Mhm.
and in a loving way to my friend. And so I share that to say that sometimes what we see with our physical eyes,
Mhm.
to get to that breath that I just did, it just might not be there, but your breath is there.
Right.
Your breath is there. You're alive,
Mhm.
because if your breath wasn't there, you wouldn't be living.
Mhm.
You wouldn't be living. You
Right.
would go. And also, if I may, not that I'm a doctor or anything, however, with breath work, it creates a body, it creates homeostasis in the body. And sometimes things have to go a little wacky
Mhm.
to balance out.
Balance.
Now, we don't
Yeah.
want to stay in whack mode too long. That's not healthy.
Right.
However, be kind and gentle to yourself if things are a bit off kilter, and trust your breath to bring you right back to that place of homeostasis.
Homeostasis. Yeah. Yeah. And I love when you said your breath was showing up for you.
It shows up for everybody. You're alive. If
Mhm.
you're not alive, then your breath no longer shows up for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And in those times when people are trying to be helpful and saying something like, well, just breathe, you're just not in a place where that's actually helpful.
It can be unloving. And again, this speaks to what I shared earlier, that no situation experience in our lives is wasted. But your breath will show up for you. It will plump up the places that are desiccated.
Yeah, and I think
It-
that's the importance of breath work. And I think people don't understand, well, I'm breathing. Why would I need to do breath work? And when you were describing how the breath will go to the places that you most need it, um, maybe talk a little bit more about that.
well, medically speaking, there's so much the breath does. Again, you're alive.
Mhm.
The breath supports our kidneys to
Mhm.
function, our heart to function, the neurons throughout our body to function, our brain.
Mhm.
What doesn't the breath do? All without any input
Mhm.
from us. I don't have to think about, well, I think right now I'm going to pump the blood from my kidneys, and I forget the name of the tube thing, so that the blood goes back up to my heart, and then I
Mhm.
think after that I'll get the blood to go from my heart to my stomach and my muscles. We don't have to do all of that. Our breath really supports us in the machinations of our body. And then what the breath does, that they're trying to quantify, and I don't know if they'll ever, well, not in my lifetime, be able to go as deep as the breath can go. However, the breath then knows that thought, that habitual hamster wheel thought that keeps us stuck in unworthiness,
Mhm.
that keeps us stuck in not enoughness. As we do breath work, the breath just gets in our body, because breath is God and God is breath. I mean, I, I can't break it down any more than that. And who knows us better than spirit, than source? Who knows us and knows how to soften that memory? Not that we're making believe and putting on sunglasses, right? We're not doing that.
Mhm.
However, to give us the courage, the insight,
Mhm.
the energy to make another choice. So let me take me. So last night, I said to myself, geez, I'm feeling better. Perhaps I'll call Grubhub and order some French fries. Now, dear Lord, I don't need any more French fries. Let's just be real. And I thought to myself, the other part of my brain
Mm-hmm.
said, well, you want to do this half Ironman in June of 2023, and you really need to start training now. And the other part of me was like, yeah, but I feel better. So maybe I'll eat French fries. And the habit, which would have been to go get the French fries, shifted and said, no, go make a salad with avocado. You're just now feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
Don't undo what you've already done. I've come seriously a week of taking essential oils, every vitamin, my castor oil pack
Pack.
on my chest. I mean, doing everything. And that's from my breath work, where I can stop, take a breath, and
Mm-hmm.
make another choice.
Choice.
And so the breath supports us to choose differently for our lives. And choosing differently also means remembering who we are. This is a temple. My body is a temple. And not having felt good the past week or so,
Mm-hmm.
eating correctly, I see how much better I feel. And the breath
Mm-hmm.
gives me the strength and the courage for me to put me on the top of my list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to give you the chance to make a different choice. I think that so when you say breath work, there might be people that are curious about what the work part is.
It's interesting that you say that. I tell you, we're just having so many ahas here, Kelly. Um, maybe I ought to take for me, the word work out of doing breathing. I don't know. There is no work, it's only surrender.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's only surrender. And that in and of itself can be the work.
Work. I was just gonna. That's exactly what was in my head, Kathleen. I was like, yeah, that's not so easy. The surrender.
It's only because we, society, attached so much judgment to the word surrender. I mean, come on. Really, at the end of the day, and my hand is up in the air. Um, when I'll take myself again this morning, taking my morning bath and just allowing myself to surrender myself to the bath water. That's a surrender.
Mm-hmm.
That's a surrender. We surrender more than we think, but we put this judgment, this bad on the word surrender. However, your breath, we surrender to our breath too, really, all the time, because it's just breathing us all the
All the
time.
time. Yeah. I think sometimes people think surrender and collapse are the same, and that's not. To me, collapse is very different than relinquishing control, relinquishing the idea
Um,
of having it have to be a certain way.
well, you just said the dirty word, control, because we're all control freaks. Both hands up in the air on that one for me.
Yes. Yes. Recovering
Yeah.
control freak right here. Yes.
Well, and thank goodness for breath work, because it makes it easier for me to really realize, boo boo, you are so not in control.
Yes.
You are so, and when I release the thought that I have to do it this way, it has to go that way, and everything winds up all effed up. When I release that, then spirit can come in and say, now let me show you the ease and the grace with
Mhm.
which this could have been accomplished, a while ago. And you
Mhm.
just have to have a sense of humor.
Yes, I think if you can have a sense of humor about the whole thing, it's helpful. And the way in my life, the way I have clung to things, so with I don't know, titles, the way I think something should be, and when I cling, and then it's going to hurt because when things are going in my growth process, I feel like that's my soul on its journey. And when my humanness tries to hang on to certain ideas of things, then it's going to hurt. And if I really will just let go, it's better.
And I will share with you, be mindful with that too, because then you begin to associate, well, if I have an idea and I try to make it happen, it will ultimately hurt. You know,
Oh, right.
we can F ourselves up. I mean, it's just amazing the journeys our minds can take us on.
Right.
And at the same time, it's amazing the
Mhm.
ride, the thrill, the
Mhm.
ease our mind can flow us through, in and around, when we release the
Mhm.
need to control. So it's
Mhm.
the duality. If your mind can put you in a trick bag, it can get you out of a trick bag. And
Right.
the breath is the key to really allowing yourself to get out of that trick bag. And, honestly, that's a really good place, if you're willing, for us to do some breath work, for us to just allow ourselves to rest
Mhm.
in the breath, to, yeah, to just rest in the breath. So if you're okay with it, Kelly.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So uncross your ankles,
Mhm.
uncross your legs, uncross your arms. And as long as you're not driving or operating machinery, just close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, there's there's this feeling of ease that begins to just drip through your body. An ease that drips through the joints of your shoulders, the tops of your shoulders, and you feel your shoulders heavier, your arms heavier, and your belly just relaxed. In this moment, allow yourself to be fed. In this moment, allow yourself to receive. In this moment, it's all about you, boo. All about you. The breath that I do is conscious connected breath work, connecting your inhale to your exhale to your inhale, breathing through your nose unless I instruct you to do differently. And the breath is like a wave. A wave flows into shore and then it melds immediately back into the ocean. It flows into shore and then it melds immediately back into the ocean. Your inhale flows into your exhale, and your exhale flows into your inhale. And as you're breathing, feel the presence of like a comfy, cozy blanket around you. Stay with your breath, your inhale flowing into your exhale flowing into your inhale. It's almost as if your divine and sacred team has gathered around you to say, oh, yay. You're going to take 5 minutes for yourself. Your inhale flows into your exhale, and your exhale flows into your inhale, and feel the presence of your divine and sacred team, your angels, your ancestors. Feel the presence of them as if it's like a blanket, and just sigh. When you complete that exhalation, allow the energy of the presence of your divine and sacred team to soften and relax your mind. Nothing you have to do. As you continue on with your inhale flowing into your exhale, and your exhale flowing into your inhale, feel the presence of your divine and sacred team caressing your jaw, relaxing your jaw. As your breath continues and your back shoulder blades just ease down your back, your hands relax and get heavy, your hips heavy on your chair. Stay with your breath, and your legs heavy as your breath and the presence of your divine and sacred team soften, relax, and ease your muscles, your joints, your ligaments, your organs, as the presence of your breath caresses your mind, and your mind relaxes. Your inhale flows into your exhale. Your exhale flows into your inhale, and just sigh through the mouth. When you complete that exhalation, go back to breathing through your nose. This is within you at all times, beloved. This sense of peace, this calm, this ease, energy, aliveness. When you forget, just take a breath, and your breath that loves you so much will bring you right back to this spot of peace, of ease, of comfort, of courage. Once more, just take a sigh. And even though your eyes are closed, feel your feet flat on the ground. Feel your hands heavy on your lap. Feel yourself present in the room. And with love, open your eyes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Excuse me.
Thank you so much for that. That was really peaceful and invigorating all at the same time.
And that's the breath. That's
Mhm,
the breath. It's life force,
mhm,
it's energy, it's aliveness, it's peace, it's calm. And sometimes you'll need to go take a nap afterwards because the body does need to rest. Even a car gets gasoline or electricity these days,
right,
energy.
right.
So, and enough energy and clarity to move on throughout your day.
Mhm,
And the breath does it with the ability for you to really say, "Whew, okay, I'll nappy poo right now," or yes, I'm off to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, you know, or I've got enough breath to, get in my next 10 miles.
right. Whew. Yeah. I'm just mindful of our time too, and I'm so grateful. And I don't want to forget to ask you what else nourishes your soul. You give back to so many
Excuse
people,
me.
and I know it's breath. And what else do you find is really nourishing to your soul?
I swim. I love to swim. I began this year doing triathlons and I am
Oh,
so hooked.
yeah.
I am so hooked. I'm doing my next year in June, I'll do my first half Ironman. However, for me, it's being kind and gentle to myself.
Right.
Most importantly, kind and gentle in the manner in which I speak to myself.
Right. Mhm,
I can be and have been quite unloving,
mhm,
speaking to myself. So I'm mindful of how I speak to myself. I swim,
mhm.
and I've got my cats.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you swim, bike, and run.
Well, now I will tell you, I'm not really down with the bike part. Gotta tell you.
Yeah.
I,
Sounds
I'm just,
me
and if
too.
there's anybody out there who wants to do the bike part of my Ironman, buzz me up. I so want to talk to you. Um, yeah, I can't get with the bike. I can get up and I'll be in the pool at 5:30 in the morning, or I can be tired as a moe and say, you know what, I need to get my miles in and get up and do it. I don't have that same energy for biking. And that's self-loving.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
self-loving. Because there's
Mhm.
somebody out there who wants to do the bike part of my half Ironman. Call me.
Not me. The biking part is the hard part for me too. So, but I love that. And I love how bright your energy is. And I'm so glad that you're feeling better
Oh my God.
because this is because your energy is really good. So whatever you've been doing with all the supplements and the taking really good care of yourself and the castor oil packs, that's all seems to be really working for you.
Yes,
So
thank you. Thank you. I said to my goddaughter this morning, she said, Aunt Kathleen, how do you feel? I said, human.
it's good to feel human when you don't feel human. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Kelly. This
Thank
has
you.
been extremely inspiring. I thank you very much. And thank you for what you do in the world. Thank you.
Thank you.